How life treating you? Back again for another spiritual reading. I want to track back a little to some things that was said, to some things that I read. I got a semi understanding of, and I shared it. And once again, like, share, comment. I love to engage. And once again, only faith ministries. That's all you need. That's all you have to have. And you take that faith, you mix it in with some strength, some understanding, along with knowledge and wisdom. You are key to life. Someone can come to you, build with you, have a dialogue with you, and you can unlock some things in their life. But anyway, let's get into Revelation. And what was that? Wednesday we did chapter 10 and chapter 11. They was very short, so before I knew it, I was in chapter 11. But chapter 12 is the woman, the child, and the dragon. Something there. Something there. And if you out there wondering, because I'm going to address you haters, I'm going to address you nothing people. I'm going to address you. That's why it's kind of hard for me to transition 100%, because my biggest obstacle in transitioning gonna probably be me turning the other cheek. See, I'm never gonna say the problem is my mouth, because for every action there's a reaction. And I know for certain we're supposed to defend ourselves. How far you take defending yourself is upon you. I was always a person that was taught, come equipped. You don't bring a gun to a knife fight. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You don't engage in arguments that has no substance, that has no weight, that holds no burn in how your life turns out. So some things, I laugh. Sometimes I don't laugh. I just turn the other cheek and keep going. But as I said, I'ma speak, I'ma listen, I'ma defend myself. I'ma listen, I'ma speak, I'ma defend myself. Anywho, let's get into the chapter 12 of Revelations, the woman, the child, and the dragon. Now a great sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. 12 stars. What could that mean? What could the number 12 represent as an analogy towards the stars? It's 12 stars. Right now we have 9 continents, right? So can't deal with continents, can't deal with banks. Right now, not dealing with culture. But see, the number 12, when you think about it, it was 12 apostles, right? And Jesus made the number 13, right? Right? Put a comment there if I'm wrong, right? It was 13 people sitting at the Last Supper, right? So the 12 stars could be the 12 apostles. We're talking about Judas was one, David, Peter. I think Mary was one. I think she was an apostle. I know she sat at the table. I believe she was an apostle because they speak of her in in the New Testament. I believe they do speak of her in the New Testament. I know in other books they speak of her, but like I've read the Gospel of Mary. You know what I'm saying? I've read that before, so I believe she was an apostle also. But let's get into verse 2. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. And another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 diadems on his heads. That is number 7 again. 7 heads. 7 heads. So if we're going to stick to the theory of a culture being placed on each continent, then there's a Satan minion, a devil minion, on each continent. I believe every culture, every religion get a chance to lead, get a chance to be the voice. And I believe that's how the Creator has did this. As I said and as I've spoke, hey, I'm a Kimite. To better clarify it up, to give a universal, up-to-date language, I'm an Egyptian. But our biggest mistake was not letting Moses' people go. So what we had in Africa shifted over into Europe. Yeah, Moses ran on back into Europe. Yeah, he went on left Africa, Upper Africa, and shimmied on back into in Europe. Took the things he learned, we taught him growing up, took it back over there. Some mysteries that they probably uncovered long ago, because this Old Testament, when you're talking about Moses, this Old Testament, this don't have nothing to do with the New Testament when Jesus been placed in the world. And because it took many centuries, many battles, many wars to conquer Kemet. Got it? And that's when the name changed over to Egypt. It took many cities, foreign lands, to weaken such a dynasty, and ignorance of not listening was the key to destroying a culture that really has a lot of influence on this rock to this day, to this present time, to me speaking to you this March 24th, 2023. And another thing I want to hit back on with you is this right here. Not listening plays an ignorant part in your life. To have the world at your hand for you to mold, for you to guide, for you to evolve, to place it over into another's culture, hand, ignorant, very ignorant, very, 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 very ignorant. And see, the thing about chess, because life is a game of chess. You can play checkers if you want to. You find yourself in your old age wondering why probably don't ever want to see a checkerboard again in your life. But if you notice something about chess, when you take a piece, you have destroyed a defensive and an offensive move. You've destroyed it. You have destroyed it. It don't exist anymore. It don't exist anymore. You got it? So we couldn't be wiped out of existence. You know, we couldn't be erased because a lot of what went on in Kemet backs the truth of what comes today. So you can't destroy the beginning and present the world just the now. So it had to been told, and honestly, once again, King James, unless it's trickery or he left the fruit in here, peep this. See, I said don't blame the book, blame the pastor. Because for this religious book and other religious book to speak of Kemites and Egyptians, our biggest flaw is right here. All it takes for you to understand history of the Kemites, it's right here. It's right here. It's a gift to you if you just read it. It's a gift. We're the most creative, very intelligent. The world is not on our pace. You got it? So to give you an understanding of 85% blind, deaf, and dumb, and I'm going to say dumb, Miss Erykah Badu. You say it another way, I'm going to say dumb. Because see, I'm going to hit them with the old stuff. It's time to present. I'm not going to say, I'm going to say old solutions to old solutions and to new solutions, because to a 9-year-old, 10-year-old that think they know it all and they're making their first choices in life, it's probably going to be a dumb choice, or it's probably not going to be if that young person know how to forward think, know how to forward see it before you put action into it. But it's here. So to read this, to speak this, you should walk in this thing. Your walk should show more than your talk. Talk, anybody can do that. But to walk it is something beautiful to see. And those that are anointed don't even have to ask, because they can see it. They can see what's in you. They can see if you got the left bad in you or you got the right good in you. They can see it. I see it every day in people. Some people, they don't even realize I see it. But see, the thing about me, and I apply this to everything that enters my life. How you treat me is how I'm going to treat you. Because see, you don't have to do nothing to gain my respect. You gain my respect because you're a child of whom you pray to. I don't even give a hoot if you pray to Satan. But if you out here doing good, you're doing the good that I understand, kudos. Pray on. Kudos. Let's get on to verse 4. His tall drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth to devour her child as soon as it was born. That's something. So basically, during the time of Revelations, because we already got to understand that all the seals been cracked, right? All of them been broken. It's just that it's a place and it's a time when what that seal came to do for us to recognize it in this reality, in man's reality, right? Right? We got that, right? Alright. So this woman purpose during Revelations was to get pregnant and was to let the who? Let the dragon eat it. Yeah, just lunch, dinner, breakfast, whichever time of day the baby came out, just eat it. Now I know all of us have a sympathetic heart towards babies, because what we see is we see a person coming in this world can't talk, can't see, can't hear, can't walk, can't feed themselves, can't do nothing. So we have a heart, we have a very sympathetic heart to nurture this child. Now, some of these kids, these babies, they grow up loved. Some of them grow up loved and don't even understand their love. Some of them grow up not loved at all. You know, it's a question mark in their mind, and they're probably in their 40s and 50s wondering, why did my parents even have me? What was the purpose of this? So we need to be mindful about kids. We need to be mindful about reproducing. You know, we need to really have sex, have a child with the right woman or the right man. You know, and it's hard. It's hard to figure the right woman or the right man. But just because the relationship, the marriage, you know, don't work out, you can't abandon your child. You can't do that. You know, kids grow up wanting their parents together. Kids growing up needing their parent, the male figure, their parent, biological parent, the woman figure in the same household every day. Every day. Every day. That baby need to see structure. I can give a hoots about, you know, well, I'm going to leave it alone. But I'll get into it later on, and hopefully I remember what my thoughts was now. You got me? But these babies need to see structure. And I would say for the most part, you know, my youngest son lived in some structure. You know what I mean? He was able to see his mom and his dad for 4 years in the same house together. And I'm never going to say kids, babies, young adults, older adults are perfect. We learn from our tribulations. Some of us don't change. Some of us realize this is my turning point. And honestly, it shouldn't get to be detrimental for you to wake up. Alright, let's get into verse 5. She bore a male child, a man, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. You hear me? You got it? You got it? That means this baby to come was foretold, was told that this baby must die. This must not this must not happen. This baby to rule over all nations. And all nations is everything on this rock. Everything on this rock. Every continent on this rock. It said nations. It's plural, not singular. So that means more than one. With a rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and his throne. Then the woman fled into the wilderness where she has a place prepared by God that they should feed her there 1,260 days. 1,260 days. So that's what? Because if you go 365, that's what? 1 year. Excuse me, 2 years, 3 years. So basically, she was just sleeping and eating for 3 years, having servants, having people cater to her. Alright, let's get to verse 7. This is a good one right here. Yeah, the title is Satan Throne. Hold up. Satan thrown out of heaven. Now, I remember reading in the Old Testament about Satan, you know, being thrown out of heaven, and I also remember it. I remember it's vague, it's foggy, but I remember reading this. You know, I do. I remember reading this. I can't say that I remember 100%, but I do remember this. But and war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. But they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, that salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come, for the accuser of our brethren who accused them before our God day and night has been cast down. Now, if you read this, and let's say you never read the Old Testament, never studied the Old Testament, you will have in your mind, so Satan been up there in heaven all along. And now that you know we're in Revelations, the world at a turmoil, we're gonna say the Creator just now threw Satan to the earth. Satan was thrown here from the jump. You know, Satan is the one that convinced Eve to convince Adam to eat the apple. So, confusing, right? Trickery, right? Say it with me. Come on, let me hear you. King James. Put it in the comments if you agree. King James. That's that, you know what I mean? Verse 10. Then I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come, for the accuser of our brethren who accused them before our God day and night has been cast down. And they overcame with him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives to the death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. Now you read that part. So tell you about King James again. You read that part. Remember, it said Satan was cast out of heaven, dropped in hell, bondage in hell. But you read this, it makes it seem like Satan has an escalator. You know how an elevator can just go from hell to heaven at any time. You got what I'm saying? Now, I will say this. Remember the bottomless pit? Remember that? Remember the readings about the bottomless pit? It did say the beast was called up to heaven, right? Right? It did say that. It did say, came up to heaven. So if we're following this correct, Satan was called up, right? 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 And a war broke out, right? Alright. They said it was another war. It's foretold that it's a war brewing in heaven as I speak, as you hear this. Got it? As you wake up. And remember, the first war brought the flood. The second war is supposed to bring fire. Alright, let's go on to verse 13. The woman persecuted. Now when the dragon saw that he had been cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place where she is nurtured for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. You got that? You got it. Understand? Satan is going to start trouble with this woman's offspring, because what came out of her was the truth. None but the truth. None but the truth. That will hinder Satan and everything Satan is trying to get done. Got it? You ever met a person that don't do nothing but sit around you and destroy everything you build? You build. Not they build. You build. They just try to chip away at everything you build. Why you around them? Why are you around them? Because if you have recognized it, you have understood that it's not you, it's them, why are you around them? That means you are glutton, not gluten. Gluten is something you put in food. That means you are glutton for punishment. That means you love it. Something about you is scared to be alone. There's something about you. Real talk. And that characteristics makes you a follower. And if you're not a follower, in these days and times, I'm gonna go on and dress it up nice for you. Cause we at a this Only Faith Ministries, you're an informed. Anywho, chapter 14 deals with the Lamb and the 144,000. Remember we talked about that earlier on in Revelations. There's a number, that goes into heaven. There's a number that is automatically, I guess these are the children of the Creator. Willie Lynch said the same thing. It takes 144,000 years to cultivate a group of people. So 144 is something else, and when you think about it, 12 times 12 is 144, right? Right? I believe so. But it's always something in numbers. If you do your math, you do your numerical math, you can almost figure your day. You read your horoscopes, you can almost figure your day, figure how it's gonna go. And let me say this. I ain't gonna tell you that, forgive, forget. Because sometimes not forgiving has made me feel better. But a lot of times having forgiveness does make me feel better also. Because that energy of harboring a negative emotion in me, it eats me up. So I know it eats some of y'all up. But what's next after Revelations? I'm gonna let you know this now. What's next after Revelations? And Revelations probably carried me on into, honestly speaking, Revelations probably carried me all the way into maybe the end of next month, maybe the middle of next month. Because it's only 22 chapters. Yeah, it's only 22. And we at what, 14 now? Yeah, we at number 14. So what's that, about 8 chapters? 8 chapters to go. 6, 7, 8, yeah, 8 chapters to go. So I'm doing twice a week. And if I can, if they're small enough, I can skim through. So what we said, 4 more weeks of Revelation. Then I'm gonna get into this. The love and respect experience. This out of everything I've ever heard about marriage, this spoke to me in volumes. And when I get into it, I'm gonna show you how I did this. It feel good. This gotta be real love, but it feel good. But I'm gonna show you how I did this, and I did this without reading the whole book. And one thing I learned about this book, The Love and Respect Experience, it's almost structured as your Bible. It's almost structured the same way. So I kind of had an idea of what this was going to be about, and it had some good verses, good passages that I've read in the Bible before, and it really stuck out. Because see, when you're in a marriage that you're trying to make work, you're putting in work, you're sowing good fruit, not bad fruit. Or let's say you have sowed some bad fruit and you are harvesting the bad fruit and sowing good fruit now. You got to do it together. You know what I mean? We both woke up one day, realized that it got to get better. I can't speak whether she stopped. I know I didn't stop working on it. And this helped. This really helped. It really did. It made me change the way I thought about marriage. It helped me change how I approach a marriage. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna just say relationship. It changed that, the approach, the outlook, you know, how things should be handled. So yeah, the love and respect experience. So on the Faith Ministries, the journey continues. Just have some faith, bring some inner peace in your life. And if you really, really, really out here sowing fruit, but money isn't valued when you're sowing fruit, go on and throw some awareness to the world. And see, we live on a structure where that you will give it to a child before you give it to a person your age, or a person you in your 50s, but you won't give it to you won't share your knowledge and your wisdom with a person in their 30s and 40s, but you'll go grab someone under 18 or just reached 18. For a long time, even during slavery, they killed the elders and molded the young and the women. If we're really trying to teach the youth, if we're really trying to get back our dignity and our respect, any man, any woman, in any community, in any culture, in any race, if you got the knowledge, you got the awareness, give it to the elder. Let the elder go teach their children. Let the parent go teach their children. That way, their babies can have some respect for their parents. That way, when that baby see that, oh man, life good with my parents, I have a lot of respect for them. I have a lot of love for them. What it does is trickle on to the next generation, because that's how that young person is going to approach raising their babies. So if we really want to change, we really want to get this done, I don't have to say no more about awareness, right? I don't have to say no more, right? Love you. I'm out. The nasty pastor.